Happy New Year. And if you're watching this at a different time, Happy New Year anyway, right? Because every day is a new year in many ways. I just want you to notice right now how you're sitting. How you're sitting as you wait to kind of be told what to do. And notice if you're making your body small. And instead, let's come into a comfortable cross-legged position. I'm Sarah, by the way. Take your arms out to the sides like a T. And if you're bumping into things in your practice space, turn in a direction that you can have your arms wide. Move that thing, whatever it may be. Start to take up space. Cut the pinkies forward so we're in a deep external rotation in the upper arms. Lift the collarbones up. Maybe if it's okay in the neck, you can look up. And then take a full circle of the arms all the way up and overhead. Exhale, bring the hands down. All right, switch the crossing of the legs so the opposite shin is on top. I have blocks and props and things. You don't necessarily need them, but I'm going to put a block next to me on the right side. Right hand on the block, inhale through the left arm. Before you think about leaning, because we are going to side bend, go up, take up space. And then exhale, we'll lean towards the side. And you'll notice, right, the bottom waist has to contract to make the top waist longer. Let's, for today, try to keep an even length on both sides. So it's more like a beautiful arc, right, as opposed to like a bent credit card. Although who uses credit cards anymore, right? Inhale all the way up. When was the last time I even saw one? Bring your left hand onto the block very slowly. So first go up, 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 up. Take up that space. And then all the way up and over. And notice where you're making yourself small in this moment. Is it the head doing funny things? Is it that bottom waist? Lengthen the bottom waist a little more. Coming upright with both arms. Big inhale, look up. We'll bring our hands to prayer position. Think of it more like a symbol of gratitude. And release the arms. All right, let's come to hands and knees position. Just a heads up, I am very pregnant. So if you see me modifying or doing anything, that's why. But always take care of you, right? All right, hands in the tabletop position. From here, on an inhale, arch the back, lift the chest up. Exhale, we'll round, press the floor away. Do a couple more like this, just getting into our breath now. And it's interesting, right, with cat-cow that when we make space, it's on opposite sides. So when you round, it's the back body lengthening. When you arch, it is the front. And then let's meet in what we would call a neutral spine. So that just means you're balancing the arching and the rounding. Don't overthink it. It's just that we're as much lifted in the belly as we are lengthened back through the tail. Take the right arm forward. So I'm already bumping into something. I'm going to scoot back. Right arm forward, left leg back. You make the room expand for you, not the other way around. Spinal balancing, lift up through the waist, press the opposite hand into the floor, take a big inhale, and then set it down. We're gonna switch to the other side now. So now it's the left arm forward, palm in, right leg back behind you. Adjust the room to make yourself bigger, not the other way around. And then as you reach through that left arm, just draw the left hip back just a little bit. Lift the inner right thigh up 1 more inch. And we'll lower. Set the hands down, set the knees down. Walk your hands forward, lift the chest, and then come on into a downward facing dog. So talk about a pose that takes up space, right? I mean, one of the more expansive shapes that we do. Feel free to pedal the legs and nod and sigh and all the things you need to so that the body can begin to unfurl. And we'll walk our hands to our feet at the back of the mat slowly. Once you arrive, have your feet apart, hips width. Inhale, lengthen the spine forward. We call this Ardha Uttanasana. It is a back bend. Exhale, fold. And then we're going to take the hands behind the head like a sit-up.
Interlace your fingers right behind the skull. I'm getting a good grip on the skull, and I'm not pulling down necessarily, just the weight of the elbows, of the arms, tractioning the neck and the spine. From here, we'll inhale the chest forward once more. Crawl slowly back to a downward facing dog pose. And lower both knees. From here, inhale, reach your right leg back. Exhale, step the foot forward. So you can always do that from down dog if you want a little more intensity. From here, we're going to bring the left arm slightly forward of the shoulder. Reach the right arm up and around and towards the back of the space. Now, there is a variation where you can reach back and grab your foot. I think for now, just that reach of the arm, the lift of the bottom hand, that can be plenty. We'll grab the back foot later, I promise. And then take the top arm overhead, both hands down. Curl the back toes under. We're in a lunge shape position with the arms on the inside of the front leg. Drop the back knee, lift the chest. Step into a downward facing dog on the exhale. Of course, if you have a vinyasa practice, you can come forward to plank and lower, or simply pause in the dog. Down onto the knees. Inhale, now lift your left leg behind you. Exhale, step the left foot forward, pause. Now it's the right arm that's going to come slightly ahead of the shoulder, and the left arm that reaches back, like up and back, like you're literally trying to reach for something. And we are, right? We're reaching for space, for breath, for prana. Again, there is the option to grab the foot, maybe not this early. One more inhale. Bring both hands down, curl the back toes under, lift your back thigh up. In that lunge shape, squeeze in with the front inner leg. Step to plank pose this time. Hold at the top, big inhale. You may lower towards your chaturanga or directly back to the dog, entirely up to you. When you make your way to downward dog, walk your hands to the back of the mat slowly. Inhale, lengthen the spine, look forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, we'll fold. Rising, inhale, come all the way up and bring the hands to prayer. All right, step to the middle of the mat, step your feet out wide, Prasarita Padottanasana. And then we're gonna bring the hands behind the back in the C clasp. Interlace the fingers, lift the chest. If clasping is not possible, grab a rope, or simply keep your hands on your hips. Lift the chest up and then fold very slowly. Once down, shifting a little bit more weight towards the toes. Keep the top thighs pressing back. Let the head go. Notice the places in the body where we hold, where we tighten and we grip. I would dare to guess that the face, the jaw, the neck are some of those places. And then slowly from here, we'll inhale ourselves all the way up, bringing the hands onto the hips. Turn the right leg towards the back of the mat. Hop your left foot over to the left. So the legs are in a Parsvottanasana position. That's the name of this pose. Lift the chest up, one inhale. Exhale, we'll fold over both legs. So if you have two blocks, great, you can put your hands on them. If not, please don't worry. Maybe, we've done water bottles before. Get creative. Keep the chest reaching forward. We'll stay in this kind of halfway position. So we're not fully rounded and folding. We're not totally upright. We're just going for space. And then from here, maybe bring your blocks with you if you have them. Inhale up, exhale, parallel the feet. Switching to the opposite side. So left leg now towards the back of the space, right leg hops over. Fold as you're ready. Parsvo, meaning intense side. Parsvottanasana. And then see, right, especially when we're in a pose where I tell you we're looking for length, where is the body most open? Just as we hold in certain places, we're also tend to be a little more mobile in other places. And it's always interesting to see, what are we avoiding? Like if the chest is wide open, is that because the low belly needs to lift? Or the neck is a little tight? Observe. You can leave your blocks this time. Parallel the feet, inhale slowly up. Step or hop the feet together. And then let's meet at the top of the mat. Inhale, reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, halfway, lengthen the spine. Step back through a vinyasa. Maybe step to plank, pause, or go directly to your downward dog. All right, so I'm gonna opt to put something underneath my knees for this next one. You are welcome to maybe double up your mat or use a beach towel. Blankets are great too. And then come on back into downward facing dog. On an inhale, we're gonna lift the right leg up towards the ceiling as high as it can go. On an exhale, step the right foot between the hands. Lower the back knee to the floor. Things change a little bit when you've got something growing inside of you, so you can always step around, right? Especially if you feel restricted in that way, we make the space for the leg to come through. All right, as promised, take one of your blocks under your left hand, so we're a little bit heightened. Reach the right arm up and around, bend the back knee, and some of you are gonna grab your foot. And let me just say that if you cannot grab the foot, it's not a big deal. If anything, I think it's almost like a better pose in some ways, because bending the knee, reaching, not making contact, engages the hamstrings in an active range of motion, where when we grab the foot, they can get passive and stop engaging. And then go ahead and release that. Bring both hands down, set the block off if you have it. Step to plank, maybe your vinyasa. Maybe just parts of it. We'll meet back in dog. All right, left leg, inhale, lift it slow up to the sky. Exhaling, step the left foot forward or around your hand. Make the pose work for you, not the other way around. Lower the back knee. And then this time it's that right hand on the block, reaching up through the top arm, all the way up and around. So just as a review, what I was saying, right? Bending the knee, not grabbing the foot, creates active range of motion. That means the muscles are engaged in a very different way than when you do grab the foot, where they tend to kind of soften. So I'll often do both. I'll stay here without actually making contact, feel the engagement of the back thigh, and then grab the foot. Lots of choices. Open the heart, maybe look up. And release, bring the hands down. We'll find our way through a lunge, however you want to get back to your down dog. And meeting in the dog, one more breath. Let's come onto the knees. Sit your hips onto your heels for a second, just pause. Sit up nice and tall. Especially, we definitely were getting a little winded. We were challenging both our balance, our breath, even some strength. What's the automatic reaction? Is it to curl in? And though I love child's pose as a resting shape, what's it like to rest more upright? To be regal and to take up the space that you deserve to take up. Okay, if you had something under your knees, you're welcome to remove it or keep it there. You may need it. Coming into a couple variations of camel pose. So first, take those two blocks. Again, if you don't have them, don't worry. On either side of your heels, stand up onto the knees. Have the thumbs in your sacrum, tailbone lengthening down. Lift the chest up on the inhale. So not even thinking about going back yet. Go up and up and up. And then as we arc back, hands will come onto the blocks. I'm gonna stay high on my fingertips. You can play with flattening. You can even lower the blocks to a different height. As much as the chest is lifting, lengthen the back waist. And then for some of you, maybe taking the head back.
We'll come up slowly, lifting by lengthening. Exhale, sit your bum down and pause. All right, one more. You can stick to that one. You can get rid of the blocks, grab your heels, so a little more of that classical shape, up to you. But we're gonna come into it with the hands on the feet already. So either the hands on the feet or the blocks, wherever you were placing them, lift your hips up and open. Right, so if it were the feet, same thing, although I lose contact at this point in pregnancy. So you gotta have your hands wherever it feels good, but it's that popping up we wanna play with. Let's try it again. Sit down, pop up. Good, and then drop the head back, just breathe. Spread across the shoulder blades. I mean, we're so concerned with opening the chest and the heart and our back bends. Widen the upper back as well. And then maybe the head goes back. We rise slowly on an inhale. Exhale, sitting all the way down. Pause. That impulse to fold into round, resist it. Instead, sit a little taller. You can waggle your hips. You can do little twists and things for the low back. But that need to curl in, resist. All right, I'm gonna turn to face you. For space sake, we're gonna take our legs apart, starting with a Janu Parvrita, Janu Shirshasana variation, meaning a twisting head to knee pose. I don't even ever like saying the English name because that doesn't mean anything, but generally we do it with the legs straight, we fold. This time we're gonna do it with the leg open and a little side bend. Right foot in towards the groin, right knee bending, have a block on the inside of the left leg. Inhale, up, 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 and then up and over to the side. So similar here, right? There's a lot of gradations. Some of you will get rid of your block, hold the foot. Others of us are gonna stay entirely upright, maybe even bend the top elbow and support the back of the neck. And then I think it's interesting too, even where the eyes kind of go, I notice for me, you know, looking down is definitely has that element of repose and grace, but sometimes the looking down because there's a feeling of wanting to shrink. So I want you to pick a gazing point that keeps the back of the neck long. Doesn't mean we have to be like head crane to the sky, but just aware, right? Are we kind of collapsing in out of fatigue? Can we keep a little more length? So the eyes as well, seeking that space we deserve. And then we'll rise up. Switch the legs, take your right leg out, left knee bends. Switching the block, Parvrita just means twisting, or side, Janu Shirshasana. Elbow down, this time left arm up and over. So I can see, right, even in my body, right, I'm starting to look down. So when I get tired, I kind of collapse in. So find that gazing spot that's appropriate for you. It doesn't mean we're cranking the neck. It doesn't mean we're overdoing it. It's simply shifting the gaze even an inch to start to allow more space in. You can turn the belly, maybe look up. And then come all the way up slowly. Stretch both legs out. Can't do a space class without Upavishta Konasana. Slide the hips back a little. Feel free to stay upright, to bend the knees, or to grab the outer feet. Big inhale and fold. If your block is nearby, rest the forehead in it. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Breathe. Those of you upright, work lengthening the spine. I know it's very tempting to want to kind of just chill out here. The work is still in progress, all the way up into Shavasana when we rest in just a moment. And if you did go down, come on up slow. All right, we made it. Use your hands to close your inner legs together. Maybe shake them out.
We're going to come lying onto our back in Supta Baddha Konasana. That's how we'll take our final rest. I like having something under my thighs and shin. It's just a little less intense for the groin. And of course, if you have other props around, feel free to experiment. Like you can use your blanket as a little pillow or a blanket if it's cold. Get creative. Have the arms somewhere that is wide and expansive. Tuck the shoulders underneath. Let the eyes settle. Now they can be more downcast because the back of the neck is just long as it is, right, in its position. We'll take a last big breath together into all that space. Open the mouth. And we rest. In the quiet and the not moving, starting to observe that our ability to take up space is really our way of connecting into all that is around us. As if our cells could merge with the mat and the floor and the ground, all the way to one another whenever we may be doing this class. That as small as we sometimes feel physically, when we look deeper at the more subtle layers of self, we realize that our energy bodies, our soul bodies, are omnipresent and expansive. Parts of us that are linked to one another, no matter where in the world we may be, no matter what time, always expansive. You're always welcome to stay longer if you like, if you're moving with me. Close the knees together. For a second, we're going to make ourselves small, not to disrupt all the work we did, but just notice that even as the outside body, bring your knees in, gets a little compact, the inside body, that inner awareness, remains bright. Roll to a side. Come up to sit as you are ready. Sit comfortably, quietly, and just observe. You are so worth it. I thank you all very much for a beautiful practice today. Take care, take up space. Namaste.